Kuzuzampo and the heartiest welcome. I'm Isha Chodin, your host, and this is Talk and Show. My guest for tonight is the founder of a phenomenal project, Jangsem Monday. Please welcome Karma Dendup. Welcome to the show, Acho.
Thank you, Isha. Thank you for having us on your very fun show. And I wanted to also extend our gratitude from everybody at Jangsem Monday, all the 20 coordinators we have in the 20 Zongkaks and the 4 of us who are at the core of Jangsem Monday.
So what are you doing these days?
These days, I have, other than Jangsem Monday, because Jangsem Monday takes up much of my time.
Yeah, I suppose.
I am still continuing with a show that I used to do for BBS before called Chanchup Singh. I call it Bodhi Tree Bhutan now.
Okay.
And other than that, my 2 daughters keep me very busy. So
Okay.
yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Okay, so Jangsem Monday, it's a really good project. It's a very humane and compassionate project. So what inspired you to start that project?
Like much of the thing that has happened in my life, I have to be grateful to BBS. And when I was working for BBS too, I went for a coverage at the RIM. This was back in 2014. And it was a talk titled Buddhism and Vegetarianism. And I was intrigued by the title because you can say that I always had an inclination towards wanting to turn vegetarian, but at the same time I never came around to do it. But that talk opened up my eyes because that talk was jointly organized by the Central Monastic Body and Gyalwa Dokhamba Khamtul, which is Bhutan volunteer office called Gekul Dugra. And they together organized that very enlightening talk. And what they did in that panel discussion was they had 3 perspectives. They offered 3 perspectives on why vegetarianism is good. And the first one was obviously religious, or you can call it spiritual reasons. Then the second one was the environment reasons, which I had no idea about. And then there was the nutritional reasons. Nutrition and spiritual reasons were pretty much being born in Bhutan as Buddhist, we grew up knowing about these things. But the environment reason was what intrigued me. And 5 years now, I have come to understand that the impact of our diet, of our meal on the planet is huge, which I hope to share as
Later part
this
of the
show goes on. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So walk me through the journey of Jangsem Monday since its inception in 2014.
It's the funny thing, I would like to start with the funny thing about Jangsem Monday was when we started out, there was just 3 of us. And that was me, my former national coordinator, Pema, and then my younger brother. And 3 of us were doing it on Facebook. And at that point, like the name of the movement itself, Jangsem Monday there's vegetarians, there's non-vegetarian, and I'm sure the audience might already know, but there is a word called Flexitarian, and that's
Flexitarian, that's quite new for me actually.
Yeah. So Jangsem Monday falls in that category of Flexitarian. Excuse me. And what happened was, while we were trying to propagate eating veggies more, and my manager was vegetarian and she turned vegan.
Okay.
And I was a flexitarian. So it got uncomfortable to a point where we were meeting a lot of vegetarians in the country and abroad. And then I would try to shy away from the question because I was not a vegetarian myself. So I was always trying to evade any questions alluding towards somebody asking me if I was vegetarian.
Are you a vegetarian?
Yeah. And then 1 year down the line, I have to credit my former manager for having raised the bar by being vegan. So it was uncomfortable for me to say that this is Pema, she's our national coordinator, she's vegan and I'm a flexitarian. So because of her, in a way, it pushed me over the edge to turn vegetarian. And on my 35th birthday, to share something about the journey was because so much of what I do in life has been influenced by Buddhism. And the Buddha Siddhartha Gautama became Buddha when he was 35. And I was sharing with my mom that I was like, I cannot aspire to be the Buddha, but this 35, when I'm turning 35, I want to turn vegetarian. And it's been 4 years now. And when I turned vegetarian, I stopped eating eggs and I stopped eating dairy as well. And I stopped getting sick as well, which I would like to again elaborate later on, because you can be a very unhealthy vegetarian as well also. And so coming back to the journey of Jangsem Monday, it was the 3 of us. And From there, I put in a proposal to HSI, which is the Humane Society International in Washington. And I had a friend called, we used to refer to her as the Jangsem Monday Guardian Angel. And she's now in New Zealand. Shout out to Tony, Antoinette. And she helped us out with the proposal, putting in a proposal to HSI. And although we have no background of nutrition or environment or even a spiritual background, HSI was gracious enough to accept our proposal, and they said that they agreed to support us with a nominal fee annual budget for over 3 years. So that really pushed, was an incentive for us to go forward, boosted our morale, and everything has been a trial and error journey, a path. And I'm very happy to say that fast forward to today, we have 21,000 followers on Facebook, over 5,000 plus followers on Instagram, and our page records roughly 150,000 visitors. And we have a daily post. We try to stick to just one post a day because I am of the belief that less is much.
Okay, it's playtime, and tonight we're going to play this game called Blow Slow. So in this game, here's this messy stack of cards, and we will take turns trying to blow one card at a time, and whoever blows the entire card loses the game. So the motive is to blow one card or two cards at a time, not to blow the entire stack, because whoever does that loses the game. So are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Okay, since you're the guest, I'll give you the privilege to go first.
But I have always been a gentleman, so ladies first.
Oh God, seriously? Okay. Okay. I did not blow the entire stack, so I'm still in.
But you made it
3.
easy for me to blow the whole thing, I think.
So next time, okay. Oh, you're pretty good. You
Alright.
just won. Okay. Whoa. Okay.
Like I said, this is a game I can have with my 2 daughters.
Yeah. Oh. This is like now dangerous zone. Danger zone.
Danger zone, huh?
Yeah.
And SMS can't save you in here.
Oh, you're pretty good actually.
Yeah.
Oh.
I won.
Yeah, you won. I lost.
Game round 1, I won.
That's all actually. That's all we have. Yeah.
Okay.
So you won.
And I don't get anything for it.
After the show, I'll give you some tea and snacks. So.
All right. No, but
Take this
being
as
on
a-
this show is a gift by itself. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, the next segment, it is called True or False. So in this segment, I'm going to give you some random statements, and you can give me your view, your personal view, whether it's true or false according to you. So statement number 1, being veg/vegan is healthier than non-vegetarian.
True.
It's true. So say something on that.
And it's true because I'm proof of it.
You're the living proof of
yeah,
it.
I'm
Okay.
living proof of it. And today I met many of my former colleagues here in BBS, and all of them were commenting on how healthy I look. I don't know if I look healthy or not, but I feel
you
healthy.
look healthy.
Yes, and that has to primarily do with my diet. And diet in a sense because, like I said, shared, I switched from a non-vegetarian. I have to add, I was a very voracious meat eater before I turned vegetarian.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because that's not many people know about that. So for me, sikkim was my favorite and stuff like that. But once I turned vegetarian, what my former diet was doing to me was, when I used to work for the BBS, I was not a very good employee because I used to be sick for almost a week every month.
Oh yeah.
And that used to be because of my inflamed tonsillitis. People comment about my voice, but yeah, it's about my tonsillitis used to get inflamed and other associated ailments that I had. And what got me back on my feet was only amoxicillin, only antibiotics, a course of antibiotics. And that's not a healthy way to live, every month taking a course of antibiotics. And after I switched my diet, I stopped eating meat, I stopped eating eggs, I stopped drinking milk, and I stopped getting sick also. Having said that, I would like to also add that you can be a very unhealthy vegetarian.
Yeah.
Because some of my friends who have also followed me with Jangsem Monday and who have now turned vegetarian, and I keep in touch with them, and when I ask them, they share that I asked them what their diets are like, and they share that morning imadachi, afternoon imadachi, dinner imadachi, and that's a very unhealthy diet.
Yeah.
So I jokingly tell them, if that's the diet you're going to be on, you should rather eat meat as well, you know. Because what we forget as vegetarians is that just by turning vegetarian, it's not a magic bullet, one size fits all. You need to be more conscious about what you eat, because what you need then is one thing that, especially in Bhutan, we don't take care about our diet once we turn vegetarian, is salads. We need to incorporate salads. As much raw vegetables that you can put into your diet, that would helps you so much more. I mean, in that talk that I attended, there was a yoga instructor, a nutritionist, and she was talking about how when you eat living foods, in a sense, fresh vegetables that we get here in Bhutan, then that brings freshness to your health and vitality to your health as well. We could go on a whole diet regime about how to eat
So
healthy.
basically, well-balanced vegetarian diet.
Yes, yes.
Reception of Jangsem Mandi is amazing. True or false?
That's also true.
Yeah.
And it's true because with every milestone that Jangsem Monday has, every milestone we consider, whenever we make 1,000 followers, we consider it a milestone and we share it there. And I cannot say it enough. Jangsem Monday is alive, and Jangsem Monday is going forward because of the people who visit our page, because of the people who as much as like our post, who have commented on it or shared or have invited your friends and family. Speaking about the audience, till about, say, last year when BBS interviewed me, when BBS Channel 1 interviewed me, that time we didn't have enough data about the rural population. But now, thanks to the 20 coordinators that we have, who are doing an excellent job, who are, most of them are predominantly teachers. I would like to correct here, all our coordinators are not teachers. Say 80% of them are teachers, but we have Georg ADMs, we have forest rangers, we also have an engineer. So
All volunteers.
All volunteers. They get nothing in return for the selfless effort that they do, and they exemplify Jangsem. They live the word Jangsem from the Jangsem Monday path, which is totally selfless. We have 65 schools as of this month who are observing Jangsem Monday.
I've seen your page, and they're like parades of pledges and donations.
Yes.
So the help is visible, right? The help is really loud, and it's overwhelming even for me as a viewer. So, yeah.
We are at 380 pledges,
Oh, yeah.
Jangsem Monday pledges, and we are donors. We don't have a number. I want to share and thank all the donors also who came out and saved us. And what we've done so far with the contribution that comes is, we have tried our best to individually respond to each donor, and we give them 3 options, which is an area of focus for Jangsem Monday, which is support education and animal welfare, and the last is advocacy. Education is what I believe. While I believe that happy teachers can change the world, any change can only be possible with education. And I've always wanted to have a school of my own or something like that, which is like a fantasy or a dream. But the least that we can do is, with Jangsem Monday, is when we say support education, we want to eventually grow into a body that can do more substantial stuff. But right now, so far, what we've done is, last year we were able to feed for close to 1 to 2 months 143 students in Metaka in Chuka. These kids were eating, while the school was providing food, they were having dal and rice for 3 meals a day. So we got Druk Soy, which is a homegrown Nutrella company in Pasaka, which supports Jangsem Monday. So they were gracious enough to give 2-3 sacks of Nutrella, which are soy chunks. And then we were able to, mostly family, at that point we didn't have the Jangsem Monday donors, we were able to contribute from families and friends and be able to meet their vegetable needs. Because at the end of the day, while we say that the future of Bhutan is the youth of Bhutan, if the youth is not eating healthy, then we are looking at very unhealthy leaders for the future. And this year we were able to buy gumboots, rubber boots, for close to 91 students from the donors who had chosen to support education. So we do these small things when we're looking at buying water filters. The other thing when it comes to animal welfare is, we support the animal shelters. we've tried. So far, what we've done is we were able to, from the contribution that came into to Jangsem Mande, we were able to allocate that fund to Maya Banyard in Paro. And the second foundation that we were able to help, the animal shelter that we were able to support in a very small way, is the RHSPCA. That's another mouthful.
Yeah.
Royal
Society
Royal
for
Society
Protection
for
and Care for
Protection.
Animals.
Yes, yes, and they're based in Sarbethang, and they're doing some amazing job. So we were able to do that. So with regard to animal welfare, eventually we want to reach out to any sanctuary and shelter that there is in Bhutan. And finally, with advocacy, some people choose to, some donors choose that. What we do with advocacy is when teachers are making a presentation, or they have meetings together to how to go about further with Jangsem Mande, or we print the Jangsem Mande t-shirts, badges, wristbands, flyers, posters.
Okay, that's all with true or false. The next segment, it is called Mystery Maze. So in this segment, I'm going to ask you some organic homegrown riddles, that is riddles from Bhutan. Riddle number 1, a short man with uncountable eyes. What do you think that is? There's this short man, there's this stout man with many eyes, uncountable eyes.
Is it a tsu?
Yes,
Tsu
bamboo
only.
basket. Yeah.
Yeah, bamboo basket.
Yeah, you got it correct. Oh, you're pretty good. Okay, number 2, there is a snake gliding under soil. A snake gliding under soil.
Snake
What is it?
gliding under the soil. Is it a vegetable or?
No.
No. It's an
It's
insect.
inanimate. It's not living.
That's an interesting one. It's a root. No, it can't be a root.
It's gliding. Roots
root
move, but
Yeah.
it's gliding. So
Gliding underwater, no?
No,
under,
soil.
Under the soil.
yeah. Think rural Bhutan.
Pass. Like I can't.
You pass. Okay, it's plow. Plow.
Oh,
Plow.
Okay. Okay.
Looks like snake gliding under soil,
yeah,
right?
because yeah.
Plow. Yeah.
you
The
can't-
riddle 3, final riddle is: a monk robed in light yellowish color is trying to get into his cave, but he keeps sliding. A monk robed in yellowish color is trying to get into his cave to meditate.
But he keeps sliding.
Sliding down, yeah.
It's a difficult one. No?
Yeah, he's trying to get into his cave, but he keeps sliding down. What do you think that is? Robed in yellowish color. That's a huge
do I get
clue, actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a clue. Yellowish color.
Yellowish.
He's robed, he's dressed in yellowish robe, robe, and he's trying to get into his cave, but he keeps sliding down.
That's the only clue I get. The yellowish robe.
Okay, it's on your face.
It's on my face.
Yeah, it's on our face actually.
Yellowish on my face. I need to look at my reflection better. Nose di memu demena. Can't be a nose, is it? I have a big one, I've been told.
Okay, try. I mean, go with that.
Yellowish.
Yeah.
Snot. Cannot be. Gross.
Yeah. yeah.
All
The
right,
mucus.
Okay, mucus. all right,
Yeah,
that would have been a
mucus.
better-
Mucus is the yellow monk
All
robed
right.
in yellowish
Okay.
robe, and the cave is our
All right.
nose.
You got me there.
Yeah.
But I came close. I
Yeah,
said
you were really
nose.
close. This is a pretty common sight in 90s, 80s, right?
Yeah,
Kids
yeah,
would have
right.
this yellowish.
That also, if I can squeeze in vegetarian and vegan, it might be because of dairy. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Milk has a lot
Yeah.
to do with my sinusitis and my tonsillitis. Once I stop drinking milk, I don't have any problem.
So
with
if
my
you have
nose.
yellowish monks trying to get
Mm.
into his cave, try
Try
vegan.
drinking less milk.
Yeah. Okay, so that's all with Mystery Maze. The next segment, it is called Insight for Impact, and under this topic we try to talk about an important topic, and for tonight we're going to talk about this topic called vegetarianism, a hope for climate change. Effect of climate change is getting louder every year, so it's of paramount importance that we chip in, we do our bits to battle for the great cause, right? So do you think that turning vegetarian is a hope for climate change?
It definitely is. Climate change. When we think about climate change, we think about greenhouse gas emissions.
Yeah.
That's the number one reason, and climate change, like you rightly mentioned, is the right term now, because when we were in school, we used to study it as global warming, and there is a problem with calling it global warming, because then we think that global warming is not. It should be that winters should also be hot. We
Yeah.
should be having warmer winters, but climate change is the right term to describe it, because it's extreme weather patterns.
Yeah.
It's not only summer is too hot, winter is too cold. We have summer before time, winter before time, flash floods that we are seeing in Bhutan, cloud bursts happening, windstorms, cyclones. I mean, the climate is alive in a not so favorable way for humans, and in many sense we asked for it. In a sense that even if you were to look at it in a karmic light as well, also a 7.2 billion population, and if you calculate the amount of animals that are slaughtered for consumption every year, it is not less than 15 billion animals. And this I'm talking only about land animals. If you take into account sea animals, rivers, fishes, and the amount of so-called food that we put on our table, then it crosses over 33, I think, billion animals killed every year. And we as Bhutanese and Buddhists, we believe in lay jude. So if you're doing that to the animals, it's bound to come back at you in some form or the other. Now that's the Buddhist angle of it. The other side of it is the UN came out with a paper back in 2009 or 10 called The Long Shadow of Animal Agriculture or something like that. I forget the name. The United Nations shared in that research paper, that greenhouse gas emissions, animal farmers and animal agriculture is responsible for more greenhouse gas emissions than cars, ships, aeroplanes, basically any form of automobile and transportation that you have on the planet. Animal farming trumps that. You have more greenhouse gas emissions from, and one would wonder where and how and why, because at the end of the day, let me share a fun fact. We can call it fun, but it's in a sense it's scary also. It's like when you don't eat one hamburger, you save water enough to drink for 3 years. That's one hamburger. When we think about meat, we think about so much of modern Bhutan, and especially in the West. When you go to a mall and you go to a grocery 7-Eleven and you pick up bacon or you pick up turkey and all of that stuff, you see this happy animal or this happy cow telling you to eat me.
Yeah, so ironical.
Yeah, and much of the kids don't know. Like
Yeah.
for instance, one of my nephews, he's grown up now, but when he was a young boy, he said he wants to stop eating meat. I don't know what was the reason, but he stopped eating meat and he said, I'm not eating meat, but I'm going to eat sausages. And for him, he didn't know that sausages were meat.
Yes.
And he was a small kid. But even grown-ups, and especially in the West, and so much of us in urban Bhutan, do not make the connection that, the beef that you're eating, you have even called it meat, beef, God knows what, it's actually flesh. It's a living cow, or it's a hen, or it's a mother or a father. And when I think about Jangsem Monday, I hope I'm not diverting, I'll come back to the environmental impacts of it. But when I think about, because so much of our followers online they are not eating meat for religious reasons. And they give the reason that what we learned in school, that all sentient beings are your mother in a past life.
Yeah.
And that logic works for some people, it doesn't work for some people. For me, I take that logic a bit further by saying that the semche thamche is a ma or a pa. It's the cow, the pig, the hen that you're eating, or the rooster is another animal's mother or father or brother or sister or uncle or aunt or God knows what. We are a population of a little over 7 billion now in 2019. And from the 7 billion people, it's overwhelming. I can't even wrap my head around the fact that 1 billion of us are hungry on the planet. There is data which shares that every 3.6 seconds, a child dies of extreme hunger. At the end of the day, it will be shocking for us to believe that the grains that are grown in India, and as well as maybe in future in Bhutan as well also, they find their ways in ships and cargo planes to America to be fed to the cows there, to be fed to the pigs there. And I'm not saying that cows and pigs don't deserve the grain. I just feel that the grains which could have fed human beings did not need to be sent to animals which are going to eventually be killed
Yeah.
for food.
So it's like long way around, right?
It's a very inefficient way of raising food to sustain the planet. Some people and some scientists and experts share that to live on a so-called meat-heavy diet, where our meat requirements are met, we might need 3 or 4 planet Earths to grow our food if we were going to live on on meat. Very recently, which is breaking my heart, and I was heartbroken when I found out about it, the Amazon. The Amazon are the lungs of our planet. It's growing, the fire there is spreading so fast. And even before this forest fire as well also, Brazil is the #1 exporter of beef. And like I was sharing throughout the length of this show, beef or cow, aka cow, need food to eat. And
Yes.
one very fattening food which is good for them is soybeans. And much of the Amazon forest, there's some data which say that every minute close to a football field is being cleared to raise soy for these cows.
Okay, the next segment, it is called Fun Facts. So I would like to know 2 fun facts about Karma Dendup.
It took me 2 attempts to graduate.
2 attempts to graduate college?
Yes,
Okay.
because I wanted to share this because by the time I graduated, I think I was way past my 25. I crossed 25
Oh,
years
yeah.
of age. Yeah. And the surprising thing is, throughout my academic, when I was in school, from class 1 till college, I never failed or plugged. But after college, my first attempt at graduating was I was taking political science honors in Delhi University, of which I took, one can call it a sabbatical, but I left that and took close to 3 years break, and then after that I came back. The second fun fact is I spent 3 years of my life with my head shaved and in robes. After I dropped off from my first attempt at college, I spent 1 year in Tagana, Drupde, completing my Nyendro practice, and then I spent 2 years in Kotaka in Shah, teaching English to monks. And I wanted to share this as well also, and I don't know if it's fun or not. And I run the risk of being called a gete, or I like to call it gelo drip, but I never took the vows of celibacy and all of that. I have to share that as well because I'm married. We did not inherit this planet from our forefathers. We have borrowed it from our children. And I take this seriously. One of the reasons why I do Jangsem Monday is because I'm a father and I'm concerned for the planet that I'm going to leave behind for my daughters. And I am sure that everyone who's watching this show or is also concerned about their children or their nephew or their niece. And going meatless is the easiest way to give back to your planet. And with Jangsem Monday, we are not even asking you to turn vegetarian. I make it a point to share with all the coordinators to share with people to go meatless for one day, and that one day to make it Monday. I want to end by saying that make your Monday special, make it a Jangsem Monday.
That's all we have for you now. Thank you for making us a part of your day, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye for now.
Conclusion ahead, do got the banana, Gachi, a Bemasu, Kati, a Jomasu. Jujuing, miss the conclusion ahead, do got the banana, Gachi, a Bemasu, Kati, a Jomasu. Betubila, Gachi, and Satubise, Gachi, and Guinea Gola Gasm, Juru, Charo, Gata, Gata, Narga, a Papicha Sugila, you may chinga, Lula, mi Gamo. Changalula mi gamo, changalula mi gamo. Mitsugi tame lunkor, osam di tame brido. Be must be galen alto, Josaki lampin kanto. Mitsugi tame lunkor, osam di tame brido. Be must be galen alto, Chama-chan, chicheran midi beda Jabjuzewa pamle ye, pinchal ye, charul ye Kongi gajan le, dato chingi donka Neman sugi dadon, gadon Dadide, gadide, chingi donka beun lesha Shingi bimidi benimi, besma heiru sasa he Dashama cheru josa ye, givla lu sichuke Bema wuki kaba i, papinchalu jilinje Nyele dishada, nose lu shumate Laga chetel malu, darnaba nase Ditenja pamlu jilinjege Ditenja pamlu jilinjege Ditenja pamlu jilinjege Juju ni misidi conclusion na hedo Gada bena nga Gachi ya bema su Gati ya joma su Juju ni misidi conclusion na hedo Gada bena nga Gachi ya bema su Gati ya joma su Local arabancha na tunimi Ningen di benga tanimi Langin di bunga benimi Kamsam ye bushi Jab ni mi shemi solo Ching hauri di ta tem chi me shata Nga tu se so do nga jogo be we Nga tu se so do nga jogo be we Jojo yi misidi Jojo yi misidi Jojo yi misidi